Welcome to Just Hair Me Out, a podcast about love, life, and hair. I'm Barbara. I've spent over 38,000 hours coloring hair.
Hi, I'm Demetra, and I've spent over 1,000 weeks with scissors in my hands.
With 50 clients a week in our chairs and 22 years on our feet, doing hair is not our hobby, it's our hustle. We've navigated salon politics and then opened salon suites of our own in 2020. We choose dogs over kids, skinny marks over beer, and we've only fired 3 clients each. Welcome back. Today we are going to talk about hair loss and what medications and other chemicals do to our hair.
Was going to say hello. I'm here too. Hi, it's Demetra again. I'm here.
Hey, girl, hey. Okay. So just to start us off with the conversation, let's talk about the 4 phases of hair growth, or like the life cycle of hair. So I was looking this up this morning, so I was right on my numbers. Most people have approximately 100,000 scalp hairs. So only on your scalp. We're not talking eyebrows, eyelashes.
100,000. And
the normal shedding for anybody is 100 to 150 strands per day is what's normal and healthy. So these 4 phases of hair growth, you've probably heard before: antigen, catagen, telogen, exogen. So what I didn't know off the top of my head when I was looking this up is how many years you're in each one. So antigen is the growth phase, and it's 2 to 8 years. Catagen is like the in-between, kind of a regression. So that is only like 2 weeks. So that's when it's stopping growing, but it's not really resting yet. So telogen is the resting phase, 2 or 3 months, where those hairs are not going to get any longer, but they are going to fall out. They just haven't yet. And then exogen is the shedding. And I didn't know this either, in most healthy cases, the hair is shedding because new hair is pushing it out. So you have new hair growth pushing out, and the shedding means you have new hairs coming in. So, and also that as we age, the anagen phase gets shorter for all of us. So that's partly why.
I didn't know that, actually. That I did not know. Okay.
And so I want to say it was like about 10% of your hairs will be in like a different stage of, like, most of your hair is an anagen, which is why we all need haircuts and whatnot. But, when your body chemistry is messed with, it can really throw a lot of hair into shed mode when it wouldn't otherwise be.
Like, I think a really big one is anesthesia. A lot of my clients, after having anesthesia, I always see like a lot of hair loss, and the hair is just different in general. Even texture could be a little bit more dry. It's like they put you to sleep. Well, so does your hair. Your hair goes to sleep for a little bit,
Yeah. So individual follicles cycle independently. So each follicle is going to go through 10 to 30 roughly cycles in a person's lifetime. So I wanted to bring up COVID because a lot of times, just like, absent medications and this and that, if something happens to your body and your body is like kind of freaking out in survival mode, hair is one of the last things that your body is going to say, I have to do this. So sometimes in surgeries as well, I think their body is just so freaked out that all the efforts and energy go to other places, and your hair suffers because it can.
Well, this is actually, I don't know for you, Barbara, but this is a big conversation between me and my clients. A lot of times when people come in, they're like, I don't understand why my hair is thinning. It's so dry. It's brittle. One of the first things I ask them, have you been through any major stresses in life? Have you been under anesthesia? Have you changed your medication? And another one is nutrition, right? So if your diet has changed very heavily, you will see it first on your hair and nails, and then your skin, because your body takes away from those areas first. to, like you said, go to the whatever other stressors are going on in your life. It has to feed that first. So you're going to notice, like, if you're ill or you just got over being ill or some kind of medication, till your body either gets used to it. If it's something you're going to be on a long time, you have to go through that stage first. You know, so most of the times it comes back. But again, like you said, everything's in stages.
Yes, agreed. And so, like with COVID, a lot of people experienced hair loss after overcoming COVID. But what I wanted to also add is I think people get really stressed out about it, where you don't need to be, and it's making it worse because stress creates cortisol in your body, which is going to cause hair loss. Main things that cause hair loss or shortening the antigen stage is inflammation, stress, which is cortisol, hormones a lot of times can do that, thyroid problems, and thyroid medications really mess with your hair. And you just sighed.
You know what? I've been doing that a lot lately. Maybe I'm really stressed out. I've been taking a lot of deep breathers lately. But that's the best thing you can do. Like anybody that has like anxiety, I know it's a different subject, but when you take deep breaths, let's do it together, Barbara. Isn't that so nice? Like, don't you feel relaxed?
I do.
It's like, it's a little faster than drinking a glass of wine.
Yeah, there you go. Also, medications that inhibit cell division. So this covers like all of chemo, which everyone knows most types of chemo create hair loss, or like all your hair falls out. So interestingly, I also read eyebrows have an anagen phase of 2 to 3 months. So that's why when you color your eyebrows, they're like constantly falling out and new ones coming in. Mm-hmm. So that's why every 2-3 months, if your eyebrows are going gray, they're going to show that gray within 2 or 3 months of coloring them.
I feel like it's less than that because I have some gray ones and they show within like 3 weeks after coloring.
Yeah.
Everyone's different though. I mean, yeah. You know.
Also, melanocytes in a hair bulb are what will affect the color. So the melanocytes, whether it's eumelanin, pheomelanin, what determines your natural hair color. So what's also really interesting to me is certain medications will change your natural hair color and or affect how your hair will take color or lightener. Like if you're trying to bleach hair and create blonde hair or highlights, it can actually really be affected by medication, how your hair is going to lift or potentially be damaged from lightener.
Do we have a list of those medications?
Yes, I do.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that any of these will make sense to you.
Well, if someone's listening and they're taking any of these, you know, then you can have an idea of, hey, maybe this is what's happening.
Yeah. Okay. Chloroquine, which is often lightening your natural hair, is for lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. Imanitab is for tumors and certain types of leukemia. Sunitinib is a cancer drug. Sorafenib is a thyroid cancer drug. A lot of thyroid medications are involved in hair loss and or changing color.
See, I'm on thyroid medication.
Oh, you are? Mm-hmm. And valproic acid is a big one, and that is in medications treating seizure issues like anti-seizure medication and bipolar. So, okay, so what do? First of all, we don't freak out because when your body is like, oh, I'm going to save their heart and like lose some hair, it's okay. And it's going to bounce back. Like a lot of these things even themselves out later. Even chemo, of course, like all your hair falls out and then it is going to come back, and it's a little bit of a guessing game exactly what will happen. A lot of times it's curlier than it was before, usually more coarse and dry. So I wanted to talk about the solutions for this. So I really think it needs to be a 2 to 3 pronged approach, meaning they have certain things that we know will help you regrow hair. but it takes a while. So I think it's important to do like an oral version. So an herbal or vitamins, biotin, even minoxidil you can take orally. And then a topical, meaning something that stays on your scalp, on that skin. And then shampoo and conditioner that's meant to support that. So because you're washing off the shampoo and conditioner and rinsing it, you also need that topical thing to put on your hair to leave on that scalp skin to help work all this stuff out.
But most of this stuff is also temporary. It doesn't, like if you're having hair loss and you stop using these products, right? Because that's a big question. Everyone always asks, you know, like, do I have to take this forever? Well, yeah. Do you know the reasoning why they have to take it forever?
Well, I would say you'd have to take it as long as you need to take certain medications, or it's like your body is, the chemistry is a little bit out of order of being totally healthy. That's why it's not working well.
Right. So I agree with Barbara about depending, you know, how long you're on a medication. Another reasoning for why you have to stay on it, the cuticle sits in a little bulb of the follicle on your hair strand, and it's surrounded by like a muscle, right? Basically. And what keeps your hair in place is that your muscle is strong. And as we get older, we start thinning, just like the muscles in our body. They start to wear little by little. So that's why brushing your scalp, keeping it stimulated a lot, helps keep them strong. That's like a way of actually keeping it strong. So what happens is when that muscle just starts to weaken a little bit due to whether it be medication or age, it just weakens. So when you take these minoxidils, Nutrafol, it helps kind of keep them strong. It's giving you those extra vitamins to help keep that hair in. So another reason when you stop taking those supplements, you're already past a certain stage of that muscle to rebuild. So that's what that was doing. It was helping to like hold those strands in, basically. So if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Yeah.
So I was looking up, by the way, this is fascinating. There is a website. It's like RXISK. So it's like the word risk, but RX, like a prescription.
Sure.
RXISK.org. And it's for doctors, hairdressers, or, you know, your average layperson.
Write this one down, girlfriend.
Yeah. And you can look up a medication and see what, like they're encouraging hairstylists to go in and say what they notice, certain medications, well, any medication. And they actually have several different, a hair zone. So like I was looking at hair zone. There's also for like suicide issues, like what medications could trigger that, and sex drive, all sorts of things. So people like commenting on what they notice having taken those medications. And so it helps with like huge numbers of people because sometimes it's another source causing that. But it's good to know like what different body types and different people experience on certain drugs. So I'm really into the hair zone, but of course, I mean, I just think it's so interesting. And you can look up based on other results of medications that you're interested in. But so I was looking up everything I take and like what the general side effects are in relation to hair. So it's super interesting. Risk.
Yeah, that's a great resource. Thank you.
Yes, I'm going to put it in the notes for sure.
Love it. Okay.
So I have heard a ton about Nutrafol, Nutrafol. So I was also listening to another favorite podcast of mine, and I heard they had a commercial for Nutrafol in their podcast.
Oh, wow.
Which I thought was funny because I've been just looking into it. Hairdressers, clients, everyone is really raving about this. Nutrafol is an herbal supplement, anti-inflammatory, stress reduction. It covers the whole gamut. It's not a drug per se, but a pill to encourage everything you need to grow hair. So I just wanted to put that out there. That's one that a lot of people like.
You know, interesting because I did take Nutrafol.
Oh, you did?
I did. And you have to take like 4 pills at a time. For me personally, it hurt my stomach. So I would do like 2 and 2, but still take the 4 in a day. I felt that it worked, but it didn't really make me regrow hair where I was thinning. It made it just feel like it was growing faster, but not.
Okay.
I mean, that's just my experience on it. And it's pretty expensive for, it just being a supplement, but I'm sure it works. I know a lot of clients that have tried it and it works for them.
Yeah. Well, whenever I look at what people are selling for hair growth or for hair loss, I mean, it's a huge red flag if there's a one size fits all, because there's so many different reasons for hair loss and the exact type of hair loss a person is experiencing. So I was impressed that on the Nutrafol website, they have ones that are specifically for men and women are going to be very different regardless. So with the men, the DHT inhibitor, so that's going to keep your hair in, like hair that you haven't lost already. But they have separate formulations of their hair supporting supplement for women 18 to 44, 45 plus, and then postpartum, which is awesome. So also, I guess it's a little controversial whether biotin really helps. I think biotin is one of those things that maybe helps your hair grow longer, but not grow more hair. I know it makes your skin and nails feel great. But apparently for hair loss, it's not necessarily a thing. Old school version of hair growth is a lot of us would take biotin or prenatal vitamins, really help your hair and skin look good.
Or castor oil, or rosemary mint oil. You put it directly on your scalp.
Okay, medicated shampoos. If they have minoxidil and ketoconazole, which is an antifungal, those help with blood flow, and the ketoconazole, it will cleanse the scalp so that nothing is clogged to create a fertile spot for hair to grow. Nioxin is an oldie but goodie. That's a really good company for hair regrowth products, shampoos, conditioners, all sorts of topical stuff. And there's this brand called Hers, and then
Haven't heard of that one.
And they look really kind of interesting. I don't know. I wanted to mention that one. It's become really popular. They have great marketing. So beyond that, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I wanted to also bring up DS Labs. So once I took a class on DS Labs, it was really, really interesting. So it stands for Divine Skin, DS Labs, and they have patented this word nanoxidil. So it's broken down even more. It's like minoxidil, but nanoxidil. I also thought it was really cool how they have so many different devices. They actually have these like microneedle things. Like they're not even expensive, but it's something where it's on a little roller that I guess has pins on it, and you roll it on your scalp, and it stimulates blood flow and the health of your scalp. They also have like scalp massagers.
So it's similar to the microneedling.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually have one in my cabinet right now. One of those rollers. Yeah, with the pins.
Yeah.
I wonder, because especially this side, I'm like, see how I go really high up? And I remember I was rolling all the way into that area, but I was too scared to go over the hair because when I went over the hair with it a little bit, it cut some of them.
Oh.
So I would be careful. I mean, because it's still like, it's kind of a blade. So if you roll it, it's going to cut it.
Okay.
That's just my opinion on that one. It might be good if you're just doing like needles that go directly in. Boom, boom. Is different than getting a roll.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just speaking from experience here.
If anyone's interested, I do highly recommend DS Labs. I know you can buy them on Amazon, but you would really, I mean, they have an Amazon store. But you do want to be really careful when you're on Amazon, as we talked about before, to make sure it's from the right supplier. It's probably safer to go right to their website, DS Labs. But anyway, side note, do you have anything to add about hair loss and medication?
No, I think you covered it. I'm just here to look pretty. Barbara's a natural. This is her show, people. This is her show. I'm just here to weigh in my funny stories.
Well, you're doing a great job at being the pretty.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Barbara.
Also, When people are pregnant, their hair often grows a different color or like slightly different.
Oh, really?
I've noticed that a lot. Yeah.
While they're pregnant?
Yeah. Like if someone has long hair, you
Yeah.
can see like what hair has been growing since they've been pregnant. And then, of course, when have the baby and then start breastfeeding, then all the hair falls out. But again, that affects how your hair is lightened. Like if you get highlights and you're getting highlights while you're pregnant, they might turn out just a little bit different.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, and write into us and tell us all your questions, your burning questions about hair loss and anything related. Thanks. Bye. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe or follow. And please leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Lastly, follow us on social media for clips of past and future episodes. All our accounts are listed in the show notes below. Thanks so much for listening.